Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Lift. And in this segment, I want to share with you some secrets to success. And this is found in the first chapter of the book of James, the letter of James. My brethren, he says in verse 2 of chapter 1, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. And if any one of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him. You know, we all go through life with the desire to excel, to succeed. And success here on earth may look different for each of us. But when we look at the eternal aspect of success, for us as Christians, it's all the same. And no matter what our journey is here on earth, we all can be sure that we're going to face trials. We're going to face temptations. We're going to face hardships and difficult times. And so James here begins his letter with the secrets to unlocking success. And in these verses, we have the 4-part formula for what I love to call wise endurance. And so step 1, count it all joy. So first off, we have to understand and realize it's all about perspective. Joy isn't something that is just tolerable, but joy is bliss. Joy is supreme happiness or gladness. And so when we have this kind of joy, when our perspective changes about difficult times and hardships, our hardships also change. We can endure more. We can be more happy. And now that our trials have become great blessings, we can really delight in them and call them what they really are. And that's joy. And so now we can be thankful for those difficult times. And everything has to begin with that proper perspective, that these hard things that we have, they're actually good. And so step number 2, we have in verse 3, knowing that your testing of your faith produces patience. Know what the test produces. It produces cheerful endurance, wise endurance. It produces constancy. When we know that something is a process, when we know that something's going to be hard, it really becomes less daunting for us. The hardships we go through develop the mental strength, the mental fortitude that we need to help us trust in the process, that helps us to wait, that helps us to realize that this thing that we've been calling bad, that we've been calling negative, is actually good, because trials will come to us all. Those who anticipate and prepare for those trials do so much better than those who are just caught off guard. And so first step number 1, we have to have the proper perspective. Step number 2, we have to trust the process. And step number 3, do the process. And in verse 4 here, we see James is saying, let that patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. So how do we develop that cheerful and that wise endurance? How do we develop this? By trusting the process, by taking the action necessary to go through these trials. And so by doing the hard stuff and by having the right attitude about it, when we know something is going to be difficult or painful, we can mentally prepare for it. And the more we practice being comfortable in these uncomfortable circumstances, these uncomfortable situations, the more we can develop this patience that James is talking about. And for instance, one of those things that gives me great anxiety is this: speaking publicly, to stand in front of people and to talk about ideas and concepts. It gives me a lot of anxiety, but I love it. Why? Because I know this difficult thing will be pleasing to God. I know this difficult thing will bring encouragement and edification for others who are witness to it. And so that benefits the world, that can benefit the church. And so let this process run its course, and we will, as James says, lack nothing. And when we lack nothing, this means that all of our needs will be supplied, that we won't have any lack. So number 1, trust the process. Have the right mindset is number 1. Perspective is everything. Number 2, trust the process. Number 3, take action. And step number 4 in verse 5 if any of you is lacking wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him. And so if there's anything that we are lacking, whether it's wisdom, whether it's any other characteristic that we are struggling with, we can ask God for it. Who here is wise enough? I know I'm not. And so asking for wisdom is a daily request that I have. And if we need it, the ability to use this wisdom, to use the knowledge that we have is what wisdom is. Just ask God for it, because God is faithful and he always keeps his promises. And we can be confident that he will supply us with the wisdom and with whatever we need. And so this 4-part way for success is having the right mindset, trusting the process, taking action, and asking God to supply us what we lack. And so I hope this has been edifying for you. I hope you can share this with somebody else. Remember what James says, remember what God says, and trust in him. Peace.